Hello, I'm Kylie Mowbray Allen, and welcome to the Positive, Passionate Businesswoman Networking Group for women all over the world who want to connect, collaborate, and grow their businesses so they can give more. Our Hello You podcast is all about getting to know our huddle members and other amazing women doing incredible things in business. And if you'd like to explore joining us, you can find the links in the description. We know that it's more powerful to collaborate than it is to compete with each other. And when women work together, amazing things can happen. Enjoy our latest episode. Hello, and welcome to the Positive, Passionate Businesswoman Hello You podcast. This is all about getting to know who's in our huddle. And I'd like to say today, welcome to Corinne Nash. She's an amazing nutritionist at Goodness Me Nutrition. Welcome, Corinne. How are you doing today?
I'm really well, thanks, Kylie, and thank you for having me on the podcast.
Such a pleasure to have you here. So I've been following you on your socials for a long time, and I get inspired by what you post constantly. It's delicious, it's nutritious, and it's always something, some kind of sharing, like an idea about a recipe, or it's the way you word things really make me think. And that is so, so important. That's what we want with our socials, isn't it? Is to get people thinking about whatever it is that we're doing. So tell me a little bit about how you manage to come up with your ideas, and do you schedule it all in advance? Do you post on a daily? How do you make it work for you?
So what I normally do is I'll come up with a bit of a theme for a period. So I might go, okay, I'm going to do a week on this, or I'm going to do a month on that. And quite often it might be something centered around something that's going on in the news, something that's topical. Or perhaps if I'm running a webinar or a course or something like that on a subject, then I'll do some social media, not just about advertising, hey, you can join this or come and listen to this, but here's this topic that I'm going to be presenting, and I'll give you a whole lot of stuff for free. So I can give you information for free, but if you want to get into more depth, you need to come and join this course, or you need to come and listen to this webinar. So I suppose I have some pretty frequent themes. Most of them are around chronic disease and trying to stop it from happening, because I'm a real firm believer that if you can get your eating habits and indeed your whole lifestyle habits into some good patterns early in life, you'll probably be able to stop those things happening. So we're talking about stuff like heart disease and diabetes and all that kind of stuff, which really does affect an enormous percentage of the population at some point in their life. And so, it's really about trying to impart some information which is really useful and really doable, so that people can make those changes effectively without it being a really huge deal for them. So, making some small changes which can actually have a massive impact either right now or later on in their lives.
I think you're very, very clever in the way that you do it, because, for example, one of your posts might be about, of the stuff that I'm seeing, about having a little more vegetarian in your diet, or a little more fish in your diet or something. That's all very, very doable stuff. Yeah. You're not saying everybody should be a vegan. You're saying, how about one night a week where you don't eat meat, for example?
Yeah, exactly. So small steps, because all those small little actions will add up. And so I'm not a very good business person, because I do tend to give away a whole heap of my knowledge without anyone having to pay anything. But nevertheless, that's kind of part of who I am, is I actually want everyone to be healthy, and I want everyone to eat well. So even if I don't make any money out of it, I kind of feel like, well, maybe I achieved something this year if people have made changes.
I just love that thought around how you share, because at the end of the day, giving is really what's at the crux of what we're here on earth to do, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And obviously we do still need to earn money, but I'm a big subscriber to the client attraction style of marketing. So therefore I'm putting it out there. You're deciding, am I the right person that you might want to work with? Let me give a free webinar, a free workshop, a free this and that, free info in my socials. and then come along, learn from me. And then if it feels right and it's the right time, then you might want to sign up to whatever. So it sounds to me that you and I are very much on that same page. In that sharing of abundance.
Yeah, well, that's right. And so in terms of how I then do it physically, I do tend to make all my little tiles and to do perhaps, 5 days at a time or a week at a time and schedule them all, because I find it works better in my brain like that. Whilst I'm on a topic, I'll usually, do information in dribs and drabs. Like the topic this week is heart health. And on Monday, I give you a tiny bit of information. And on Tuesday, I give you a bit more. And on Wednesday, a bit more. Just kind of bite-sized pieces so that it's not like, wow, here's 10 paragraphs on what you can do. It's more like, okay, here's a line on Monday and here's a tip on Tuesday. And so that it just builds up over a week.
I love it. And when you think that, of course, not everybody sees all your posts. So it would be awful if you only ever did one post about the Mediterranean diet or one post about Eat the Rainbow or whatever, because I might not have been on socials that day and then I miss it. So it's a really great concept of strategy of how you're running it. I love that. So do you actually enjoy the social side of it and the marketing side of your business?
There are aspects I do enjoy. I enjoy creating the themes and making the tiles and writing them. I don't enjoy the actual scheduling and the nuts and bolts of it very much. I just find that super annoying because half the time, the social channels get it wrong and only post half of it. And, it's just.
I know. Are you using Meta Business Suite?
Yes.
It can be a little glitchy for sure.
Yeah.
A little frustrating indeed. We just had a new client that we've been onboarding, and what do you know? Her first posts didn't go out.
Yeah.
Very, very annoying. Also, they keep introducing new features. For example, now you can schedule a reel, but you actually can't, or stories, for example, but you can't add stickers, or they're very, very limited in what you can add. So
yeah, and I find that whole thing, that discrepancy between what you can do on your phone and what you can do on your computer, super annoying. I'm like, why? Some people use one, some people use the other. So let's just all be able to do the same stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. So tell me, Corinne, what's one of the favorite things about you that you love about running your business?
I suppose what I love is getting to see change in people's lives. And I love it when they come back to me after, we've had a series of consultations or they've been on a course or something, and they come back and they go, you know what, I'm just so pleased I did that. And I've made this change and I've made that change. And this is what it means to me. And they're just feeling so much more positive about the way they're living and how they're feeling. And sometimes, I might have actually, changed their life radically. And that's certainly the case for people, for example, with irritable bowel syndrome. I've been able to radically change their lives, and they've just been so thankful that they can now live a more normal kind of life without everyday real stresses around what their body's going to do to them when they eat.
How extraordinary. I would totally agree with you. There's nothing better than that feeling when you've made a difference in someone's life. So wonderful. So do you work with people in person or just online, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, it can be either one. So if people are local, then I would probably prefer to see them face to face. I don't have an office that I go to as such, but I'm really flexible. I can go to them if they feel more comfortable in their own home. They can come to me in my home, or we can just meet somewhere. But I find that usually people don't want to talk about what they eat and their bowel habits in a cafe. But equally, we can do it on Zoom as well.
Oh, funny. So how long have you been in business for, Corinne?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I think it's probably around about 6 years now.
Fantastic. And what's your favorite thing about not necessarily your business, but being a business owner and being your own boss?
Oh, definitely the flexibility. And I love that I can just change things as much as I want. So if I decided tomorrow that I was going to be a nutritionist who only focuses on vegetarianism, I can just do that. You don't have to go through levels of bureaucracy and committees and all that. You just go, that's what I'm going to do. And you just do it. So I
You
love
literally
that.
change your website and change your messaging,
Yeah.
and off you go.
Do whatever you want.
So good. So speaking of that flexibility and being your own boss, you've recently just been on an amazing trip for, for quite some time. So how do you, as a business owner, work that out? Do you have that laptop lifestyle and work while you're away, or what do you do with the business?
Well, yeah, it depends how long I'm going for. If I'm going away for a week, then I would normally just make sure I have no client meetings in that week. And I would just schedule all my posts. And so social goes on as though I'm there. And I might just check in every couple of days and, respond to comments and so on. But if it's a longer holiday, then I just make a post saying, I'm going on holiday. See you later. Because I think it's important that people understand that small business owners are real people who need to have a break, and not only from seeing clients, but from doing social media as well. Because, sometimes you just need to switch off entirely and just move away from everything work related. And I'm a strong believer that that's actually very good for you mentally.
Three more. And what I've really noticed with, I was going to say age, but I don't think it's necessarily anything to do with my age. I think it's the fact that socials have been around for so long now, and they're just an ingrained part of what we do. So for me, I've really enjoyed having a complete break. Some weekends I literally just don't even open an app at all on my phone and just really enjoy not looking at it. I think also because our feeds have changed so much. So we no longer just see stuff from our friends anymore. And our friends are posting less, and or some of them are anyway. We're seeing more ads, and so it's socials are a very different experience than what they were 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I think more people of our age are becoming better at being on them and being off them, and taking time out, and nobody minds. We all understand. Yep, it's all a bit much sometimes. And if you step away, no one thinks you're being offish. They just say, yep, they're having some time out.
Absolutely. Over the Christmas period this time, I had pretty much 2 weeks of a break from it. I checked in the odd time, but that even just me personally. And I really felt a difference when I came back to it, of having that nice break, which was good. So Corinne, what would be some tip that you would share with other people, other women in particular, just starting out in business, in terms of how to set up their business so that they could step away in the way that you're able to?
That's an interesting one. I mean, it's very easy for me because I'm only a one-person business. I suppose you just got to have all your tools set up so that you can do scheduling. Your socials aren't reliant on you doing them every day, and just make sure you have a good client diary so that you don't plan to go away for a week and then find you've got 2 people coming in to see you and like, oh dear, either I've got to cancel them and now I can't go. But I don't think it hurts anyway to say to people, I can't see you that week. You don't have to tell them you're on holiday. You can just pretend you're too busy. I've too many clients. It'll have to be the following week. And then that's that thing of, oh, I'd better get to see her. She's so popular.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been seeing this medical center where you see the naturopath and the doctor at the same time, and it's always 6 weeks out before I'm able to have a session with them. So, which is pretty frustrating, but it also makes you realize, well, I've got to get on and book. If you're available tomorrow, then you don't feel any kind of urgency.
No, that's true. But I guess it is fairly frustrating if you have some kind of acute problem that's really troubling you right now, because 6 weeks' time it might have gone away or killed you,
Yes, that's so true. And that's definitely why I would not use them as my regular one. But, to look at the overall stuff is...
Yeah. But I mean, the beauty of working from home is like I try to be flexible. And if people are working full time, I'll go, well, I can see you at the weekend, or I can meet you in the evening. because it doesn't matter to me, because then that just frees up time during a day when I can do something else. Because if I'm at home, there's a lot of other things, including weeding, that I could be doing.
Oh, you were thinking weeding. I was thinking about your donkeys.
Oh, yes. Well,
Area
them as
coming.
well.
You've got a lot of wonderful things happening on your property there. So, I can imagine there'd be lots of other things that you'd like to do. So as a final question, what would be your top tip that you could share with other women in business that you do to stay passionate about what you do?
All right. Well, to stay passionate, I would definitely say that you have to keep checking in that your business model is still suiting your lifestyle. So if you've become so crazy busy that you're no longer enjoying it, it's just drudgery, then, maybe it's time to cut down or stop or employ someone else to help you or whatever. So I think, to create a work-life balance, because, when you are a one-person company, you can start being all things to all people, and you are the accountant and you are the cleaner and you're the everything. And that can be a bit overwhelming. So if you are financially able, then have some work-life balance where you can either outsource things or you can cut down how much work you take on. Just to keep in mind that really at the end of the day, your health is worth more than anything. And if you do get ridiculously busy and you don't have any space for self-care or for relaxation or for doing other stuff that you enjoy, then really you wonder, why are you even doing this job?
Absolutely. It's about setting those non-negotiables, isn't it? So for me, for example, 3 mornings a week at the gym, that's a non-negotiable. 1 night a week at ukulele, that's a non-negotiable. So no matter how busy I am, I absolutely have to attend those things because those are my non-negotiables. So it's different for everybody though, isn't it? Some people think, it might be that you stop for an hour for lunch each day. Well, for me, I'd rather just keep going because, I get it done and then I can go off to ukulele, for example.
Yeah, well, that's right.
I said that was the last question, but I've got one more question, and that's particularly around nutrition. And as soon as I said lunch, it made me think about it. So what would be a tip that you could share with everybody about if you're a busy person and you just want to get that day done of your workload? What would be something, if we don't stop and actually cook a meal or something, what's your top tip for having a really nutritious lunch?
Well, I would probably either the night before cook a little extra so that you can just pop something in the microwave or eat it cold, or at breakfast time, make something. And it can be as simple as a salad sandwich, like it'll take you 2 or 3 minutes, so that at lunchtime you don't go, oh, I'm too busy, I'll grab that bag of chips. You have something, there it is. All you have to do is eat it. And if you can type one-handed, you can carry on working while you're eating it. So I would say, thinking ahead and having something that's ready to go. Don't skip lunch.
Oh, I think that's a great tip. I'm going to add to your tip, and this is just what I do, is that I find emails can be a bit overwhelming. I'll check my emails each morning, but there's just so many things I'm subscribed to and it's flooding in. So generally speaking, while I'm eating my lunch is when I'll go through the emails and read maybe a newsletter or something and then just delete them once I've done. It doesn't involve talking and it doesn't involve needing hands. So it's a great time to have lunch. So yeah, if you're someone that likes to sit and eat at your desk, then that it's good to get something done anyway in that way.
True.
Very good, Corinne. Well, so wonderful to chat with you, as it always is. Thanks so much for sharing your time with us, but also thanks for sharing your tips and insights, because it's so wonderful to watch your business grow and evolve. And as I said, I love your social posts. So make sure, everybody, that you're following Corinne at Goodness Me Nutrition. We'll have all the details where you can connect with Corinne in the caption. But Corinne, again, thank you so much for joining us. And it's wonderful having you as a positive, passionate businesswoman and part of our huddle.
Oh, thanks, Kylie. No, it's been lovely to spend this time.
Awesome. Well, you have a fabulous afternoon and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Thank
Okay.
you. Bye, everyone.